everybody, welcome back to the range. Tom here, and today we're doing a 83 Silverado Junkyard build. I've already pre-cut this castings, already had some stuff sitting around, so I decided to make it a little bit different. To be honest, I'm a little out of my comfort zone when it comes to this kind of build. Normally, I'm used to just putting two pieces of a car together, not four. And you'll see what I'm saying by four. You know, I got the front piece, I got the back piece. I end up cutting the bed out, making three pieces, cutting the interior, cutting the chassis. But they're all from a Silverados. They're all from this 83 Silverados I had laying around. Most of them didn't come with windscreens except for one. So I decided to use that to my advantage and decided to make a long bed 6-wheel drive pickup truck out of an 83 Silverado build. Yeah, like I said, these are out of my comfort zone. I normally don't do this much modifications when it comes to like cutting up a car. You know, it's kind of new. I kind of got some ideas off of a buddy of mine off of Instagram, and you know, I wanted to see if I could do it. And honestly, like I said, you know, I'm kind of happy with the results, but I'm not happy at the same time. I think things could have went better. Think things could have looked better, but it's okay. All in all, I think it turned out okay in the end. You know, like I said, I already pre-cut these castings, except for the bed, because I wasn't for sure exactly how long I was gonna make the bed, or you know, seeing how I was going to do the chassis or anything like that. These wheels I had sitting around, I decided not to use them. Because they were too big, and I kind of, honestly, I didn't feel like doing a lot of cutting and wallowing out the wheel wells and stuff just to get them to fit and roll right. So I decided not to use them. I decided to use some from Sam Ed wheels, some big stock tires, and you know, I used 3 sets, you know, so I had 3 sets of the big and small, so I just took 3 of the large sets of the tires, painted them, and put them all together. So all in all, I think the wheels came out great. You know, they look fine. I had the axles done and all that stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. The hardest part was trying to get everything to line up, fit right, you know, to where the base pretty much fit the entire truck with no problems. You know, I had a little bit of problems trying to come up with like exactly how I was going to cut them, but I didn't know exactly where or how long, so it was kind of like a little bit of a process. You know, I knew kind of what I wanted to do with this whole build, but I didn't really, I don't know, I thought it out, I thought it through before I did the build, but I came across some problems, came across some like minor difficulties, I should say. I ended up, the base, because it wasn't straight enough, so it was kind of tilted up in the back, in the very back of the base of it. But that's all right. You know, I figured out a way to kind of maneuver it and get it to where it would actually fit. Excuse me. And you know, this was one of those quick kind of builds that I just wanted to get done. My next video is gonna be my 4 Horsemen build. And then after that, I'm still kind of coming up with some ideas for part 2 of the Mad Max hauler build. So I'm kind of, right now, it's just kind of up in the air what I'm going to do. But I'm going to try to get it knocked out before my 4 Horsemen build, because I want to try to get it mailed out by the beginning of the month. So my buddy Phil gets his car and trailer and all that stuff before Christmas. And Phil, if you're watching this, when I do send it out, well, you're going to see what it looks like anyway. I was going to say do not open till Christmas, but, you know, you're going to see what it is already. But, you know, I had to do a lot of sanding, a lot of filing, a lot of cutting, a lot of, you know, kind of just trying to get everything to where it fit right with the base. And like I said, I come across a couple of little minor problems. But all in all, it actually worked out pretty good. The paint turned out a little bit better than I was expecting. Yeah, it had a little camera malfunction there for a minute. It almost fell over on me. But that's okay. I got it fixed up and ready to go. But, I wanted to make sure that everything was lined up. Everything was matching up, Yeah, I broke out every tool in the book that I could think of, except for my drill when it came to modifying this base. But once I got the paint, or not the paint stripper, but the oven cleaner. Yeah, I took the base after everything was done with the base. I stuck it in an oven cleaner, and the good thing is the oven cleaner did not do anything to affect the glue, so everything stayed in place. I was really happy about that. Ended up doing the base after I got done with the base, and I knew that's what I was going to do. I cut out some areas for some axle tubing. I can't remember if it's shown in the video or not, but I don't think it is. But after that was done, I cut some axle tubing, and because I had no way to hold the wheels down, because I completely eliminated the back half of the interiors that hold the wheels down. So I ended up putting some axle tubes in. And, at this point, the reason why I'm using styrene right now is because, I could not find what the second half of the base I was looking for. So I just kind of was just winging it for a minute and just seeing how things go. And, and I ended up finding the base, and I used that instead. Honestly, I thought it would work better and it would fit better and everything, because I couldn't get everything just right. But with the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving's just right around the corner. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a great one. Hope you guys enjoy time with your family, and, wish you the best on this holiday season's coming up. And the first of the year is coming around. And as you guys know, as of the 1st of January, I am officially a member of the 4 Horsemen. The castings have already been chosen for this year's builds. The themes have been chosen. Paul from Diecast Graveyard is eventually going to get the build schedule out so you guys can start getting your cars ready. And trust me, there are some pretty cool looking themes and some really cool looking cars. Some of these cars I've never seen before. Some, not all of them, some. And I mean, I haven't seen them where I'm at. I haven't seen them where, a Walmart or anything like that. So there are actually some pretty neat ideas. I know I'm going to have to be ordering some decals eventually. So, yeah, because it's going to be fun. My castings have already been chosen. My guest horsemen have already been chosen. They know who they are. And on the new list, it shows who the guest 4 horsemen are that, are going to be participating each month with the 4 horsemen. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the 2023 builds. I'm looking forward to it. Just being able to see what everybody's got. And you see here on this, the 83 Silverado, I had a little problem when I cut the back half off of the bed. It kind of went in an angle, but that's okay. I was able to fix that. I took some styrene to connect the 2 pieces of the bed. Everything was matching up, had everything lined up, and, just kind of wanted to get it pretty much looking the way I was wanting to, and so far it's looking pretty decent. Yeah, I'm going extended bed, extended cab, style truck. And to cover up all this, instead of actually doing where you can see inside the bed, I ended up putting a tonneau cover on that, and you'll see that further on in the video. But me and my new good friend JB Will decided to partner up in this one. And I like JB Will, don't get me wrong. It just takes me forever, or takes forever to finally cure and stuff. So there was a lot of waiting with this one, and it was okay. I had to connect the roof together, and that was the hard part, trying to get everything leveled out. I did the best I could. Like I said, I'm out of my comfort zone when it comes to these kind of builds because I'm not used to them. You know, I do like maybe 2 cars and combine them. I've never done a build like this where I've got 3 different pieces of the trucks just kind of scattered. And, you know, I took this old credit card I got to help me, you know, lay down this JB Weld, and, you know, it was kind of rough trying to get everything smooth and stuff like that, and get it to where everything looked like it was all one piece. Honestly, what I should have done was took a piece of styrene, put it over the top of both the roofs, cover up the gaps and everything, and just sand it down to where it matched the truck. But I was not thinking about that at the time of this video. I didn't think about it till after I'd already done the videotaping, after I've already done the painting. And I'm like, you know what? I should have just did that. Just cut a piece of real thin styrene, glued on the top, and then just work it from there. But that's okay. You know, it's further, you know, food for thought, as they say. You know, for future builds and stuff like that. And who knows, maybe I might get enough, you know, guts to actually do another build like this. Probably a better build. But JB Weld, you know, I kind of filled in the gaps on the bed where everything was fitting everything. And I have to say, I think I did a very good job blending the beds together than I did with the roofs. Because, like, honestly, it's got that little groove on the side of the 83 Silverados, and I tried to make sure that I lined those up perfectly. Even when I was sanding them, I wanted to make sure that everything looked right. They looked like they was parted together, and I think I succeeded on that part. Because when I went to do the paint and tape lines and stuff, everything looked good. And you see here, it looks like all the lines match up pretty decent. Like I said, the roof I'm kind of still iffy about. But what you guys don't know is that I actually did a pre-base coat. And what I mean by that is after everything was dry and sanded down and all that stuff, I went ahead and base coated it white. Just to see where, like, if there was any gaps or if there's any, like, places that looked uneven. And then when I found those places, I cleaned it all off, washed all the paint off, filled in the gaps, smoothed it out, and I was done with it. But I wanted to make sure everything was good to go. I didn't want to just try to primer it and then fill it all in at that time. Honestly, I think that would have just been bad for paint. So I took all the paint off, filled all the gaps in, fixed it up, and right now I'm doing the interior, trying to cut up the interior, using every tool I can. Didn't think about it at first. Then I switched over to my cutting disc for my Dremel tool because it worked best. And I did everything I could to make this truck look halfway decent. And who knows? It might work for some people, it might not. Some people might be like, it looks like crap, or, you know, you could have did this better. Honestly, if you have any advice on stuff I could do to improve these kind of builds, you know, because like I said, these are out of my comfort zone. These cutting up like having 5 different pieces from 5 different whatever. You know, this was out of my comfort zone, trying to make one of these trucks. And I attempted to make one before, but it did not work out. It looked like junk. I decided to scrap the build, but this one was going really well. And, you know, I was really happy with the way the interior was looking, the way everything was matching up, as you see here. So, you know, I just had to make sure I filed down some areas, covered up some gaps with some super glue and some baking soda, baking powder. I can't remember which one it was. I think it's baking soda. But to help fill in some of the gaps. And all in all, it worked fine. But like I said, the back set of tires just did not seem to, I guess, touch the road, as I should say. You know, they seem to kind of be angled up a little bit in the back, and that's kind of what I'm disappointed in. And, you know, what I should have honestly did was make a complete base from styrene from scratch. But at this time, like, I was kind of trying to rush through it in a way. So I was trying just to use what I had instead of cutting up all the styrene, because I was kind of running low on my thicker sheets of styrene. I had all kinds of smaller pieces and stuff, but none that would actually be long enough to make a complete base for this truck. And so, you know, I didn't have a back glass, so I decided to cover it up with some styrene, you know, just kind of give it that solid back look. Filed it down to where I think it would be fine, you know, didn't put any body filler, which I wish I would have now, because I could see some of the gaps and stuff after paint, but they're not really that noticeable. And I went with 3 different color paints, and you'll see a couple of them here in a few minutes. Or one of them or something, I don't remember. But, you know, I wanted to at least look halfway decent. It's it sits low, it looks good. The tires, you know, I got the base and everything done. The interior's already been painted. At this time, you know, I'm just worried. I'm worried that it's not going to come out right. The lines ain't going to look, and this is before paint, so I'm like, I hope everything kind of looks like it flows together. And to my surprise, everything did kind of, except for the roof, like I said before, everything kind of looked like it was filled in good. Everything was proper. It looked like everything lined up. And now I was pretty happy about that, except for the roof, like I said, because you can tell when you're like right up in front of looking at it, you can tell kind of how the roof looks, but I'm not going to really do much because I'm pretty much bad mouthing my own work, which that's the one thing is you are your own worst critic. And so I started off with this pearl green. You know, I really like the pearl green colors. You know, it's a really nice color. You know, when I was taping it off, I wanted to do something neat. And like, I literally all night last night, I thought about how I was going to tape this car off, how I was going to paint it, what colors I was going to paint it. And unfortunately, this is the only color you're going to see until the final results, which it's going to be coming up very soon. But, you know, I wanted to give it kind of some kind of retro style look and, you know, give it a kind of sleek paint job. You know, whether it turned out that way or not, you can be the judge of that. So, all in all, like I said, you know, this was just a quick build. This was one that I just was out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to give it a shot, see if I could do it. You know, my buddy Zach over Z-Dog Customs, he kind of gave me the idea because he does some crazy work with some trucks like this. So if I have any more questions, I know who I'm going to ask. I'm going to be asking that guy because, you know, I know he's done these before. He's done these quite often, I should say, and he does a remarkable job at these kind of trucks. And, you know, I want to do more of these kind of builds, but right now this was, like I said, this was kind of a prototype style build for me because it was the first time I've done something like this. And we're getting close to the final results, so, you know, I really hope y'all enjoy this one. I hope y'all stay tuned for my next video, which may or may not be the 4 Horsemen build or the part 2 of the Mad Max. I am not for sure yet, but without further ado, let's check out the final results.